Hey guys, welcome back. Let's do that comparison now between Nautica Voyage and Nautica Voyage Intense. I've been wearing them on my hands. I got home a few hours ago from work. I'm wearing them on my hands individually. I'm into the mids now, starting into the dry downs on both of them. I wrote the notes down so I can compare the two notes so you can see the similarities. Intense has green apple, lotus, leather, sandalwood, cedar, vetiver, and like I said in my review, definitely white musk and amber. More amber in this than there is in this, and it's listed in this. Which brings you to the notes in this. Green leaves, apple, which is the same. Lotus, which is the same. This has got a mimosa. Not sure what that is. This has got musk, like I said. So does this. This has got cedar. This has got oak moss. And both of them have amber in it, right? So quite a few same notes. The different notes. This has the leather and the sandalwood and the vetiver. Whereas this has the mimosa and the oak moss and the green leaves in it. So, but other than that, they're pretty damn similar notes, which will tell you that they're pretty close in smell at times. And I'm going to get into that now. I've seen a few people say that, you know, this is way different than this. This is way better. This is way better. You know, the performance on this is way better than this, or vice versa. I've seen everybody. I'm here to tell you my thoughts on them together. And again, this is personal. So you may smell them and think completely different than I do, but I think they're similar, but just different enough, especially parts of the fragrance. And we'll get into that. And what I think a lot of people, when they're saying that these are almost identical, I think they're judging it off the opening. The first 15 minutes to a half hour, they're judging off that opening, because the opening of these two are honestly pretty much identical. You know, that green, slightly sweet. This is a little sweeter, but slightly sweet, tart, kind of apple vibe, and lotus. That's kind of the opening of both of these fragrances, and it's pretty similar. And also, I think they might be judging it off of strips, because on strips, on clothing, this doesn't really change a whole lot from this, honestly. It's when this hits the skin and it works with your chemistry, your warmth, all that stuff, your goddamn salty, oily skin, or your dry, ashy skin, whatever. Whenever it works, it changes quite a bit. Whereas from this, so I think maybe they're judging the similarity based off the opening and or on strips or clothing, because they're not that different, honestly, in that aspect. Yeah, again, the opening is, like I said, slightly sweet, tart, green, apple, lotus, aquatic, watery. When I say aquatic, I don't think salty. I don't find either one. This has got a bit of a mineralic vibe to it, but it's not overly salty. This doesn't have that at all, though. But I mean, they're just so similar in the opening that I wouldn't disagree with anybody who's just doing it off a strip or whatever, first sniff, saying they're too close, they're not worth it. I would agree, but put it on skin, you'll see. The mid, this is where, to me, they're different. Still similar. They still got that fresh green, watery lotus kind of vibe to them, but this takes on more of, like I said, that mineralic, almost a cucumber like smell. Geez, say that 3 times fast. Cucumber like smell to it. Absolutely. More of your classic aquatic fragrance, you know, that cologne and melon type vibe that you get. Cucumber, a little hint of salt, like the mineralic vibe. This takes on a lot more of that, where this takes on more of the like I said, the fresh green, aquatic, watery lotus and stuff is still there, but you start to pick up on this peppery like cedar and the amber, giving it a bit of warmth. And I really wish I could describe it better than that, but you who know, people who know, you know, what amber can do. It can have a smell, but it can also just kind of have a feeling to it, right? And that's what the amber just does. Makes it a little warm, a little inviting. Really in the leather, it helps enhance the smooth suede-like leather, and there's a touch, just an ever so slight touch of smoke in this. And that's kind of where these two really separate. While they still have a lot of similarities, this one goes more, a little more deeper, a little more intense, a little more mature with that leather and amber combination and peppery cedar, right? A little more mature, but not old manish by any, just a little more grown up, basically. And then they hit the dry down again. They still have that kind of watery vibe to them, and they start to become a little more similar. Well, this one's still a little different because it still keeps a bit of that leather and a little bit more of that amber. It's kind of just clean white musk and woods, really, in both of them. So that's kind of the comparison. I mean, they're very similar, but just different enough. Kind of think of this one as more of a more grown up kind of version of this. Not quite as aquatic as this. A little more woody, spicy, ambery than this. But at the end of the day, they're both green, fresh green, aquatic fragrances. This is more of a fresh green cucumber aquatic, and this is more of a fresh green, leathery aquatic. I mean, but they're both very similar. But to me, they're different enough that, it's okay to own both of them. I don't find it all that redundant, especially at the price. Like I said, $21, and I think I got this for under 20. So for $40-50, you get both of these. You get two very similar but slightly distinct fragrances. What's wrong with that? So yeah, performance-wise, they're both pretty much in the ballpark. These 4 or 5 hours. This is 6 or 7 hours. So you're getting, projections about the same, all that stuff. Definitely, like I said, the Intense is a little stronger, as you'd expect by the name Intense. Which brings me to the flanker aspect. I've never really talked about, I don't think, about what I think of flankers. I think this is what a flanker should be. If you're going to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, and make a whole new fragrance, unless you're just like, let's take Dior, for example. Dior did really well for the Dior Sauvage Parfum, or Eau de Parfum, the Dior Sauvage Parfum. All slightly different, but still kept a strong resemblance to the original EDT, right? Then they came out with Elixir. Is that really a flanker of Sauvage? And then Forte. Is that really a flanker of Sauvage? No, I think they're just cashing in on the name, of course, which is fine. Hey, not wrong, make some money. Make your greenbacks move. But, yeah, to me, this is what a flanker should be. You take the original, you change it up a little bit, make it a little better and a little more modern, but still keep the heart of the original fragrance, which this has, really. So the question is, which one would I recommend you buy? You all know I'm a fan. It's one of the few aquatics that I do like. It's the Nautica Voyage. I like it. I don't like it as much as that Jeremy guy. I mean, I haven't watched any of his videos in years and years and years, but every time I did, it was Nautica Voyage, the best. 99% better than this. This is give you compliments. You take a shit in the bathroom and people are going to knock on the door and ask what you're wearing, No, I don't like it that much, but I do like it. It's good aquatic fragrance. Cheap, easy to wear. You can wear a lot of it. You don't have to worry about it. Pick up for $20, right? So I do really enjoy Nautica, but that being said, for me, this is just a little bit better. Especially now that it's at about the same price as Nautica. Yeah, this is, like I said, think more of your classic aquatic cucumber, fresh cucumber, mineralic kind of aquatic fragrance, whereas this is definitely more into that, like I said. And it's not an overdose of amber or leather. It's just enough that gives it a touch more class to me. We're still keeping that fun, fresh, clean, summery, breezy kind of vibe as Nautica Voyage. Gives it a little more class. You can almost think of daytime, evening, if you wanted to do it that way. So I would recommend this. Now, if you're not a fan of Voyage, and there are people out there that just don't like it, then you're probably not going to like this. It is close enough that you're going to be like, nah, man. You're going to be one of the people that thinks it just smells like Voyage. If you like Voyage, and you want to get, you don't want to go to something completely different. So you want to keep it in that, this is 20 years old now, almost 20 years old. So there's somebody whose first cologne, this was their first cologne, and they've been wearing it for 20 years. And it's like, you know what, I want to change it up a bit, but, you know, they're scared. Whatever change can be scary. Let's be real, even with fragrances. I mean, this would be a good step in, you know, working your way to something else, although this is perfectly fine. You could, but if you're looking for something different, you're running out of Nautica Voyage, you know, you're on your umpteenth bottle now, and you just want to try something a little different, but don't want to, you know, you don't want to step outside the box, but you kind of want to stand next to it, leaning against the wall. This would be the one to go for. You know, because it'll give you that same comfort, familiarity that you're used to with your Nautica Voyage, but will give you something a little different, and maybe it'll help and inspire you, push you after this bottle or two to try something a little different. Maybe a Dora Sauvage, a Blue de Chanel, something like that that'll still kind of fresh, clean, but a little more something to it, you know. But for $20, guys, come on. It's I don't, like I said, I don't like it leaps and bounds above this, because I really do like Nautica Voyage. I just like this a little more. For me, it'll be the Nautica Voyage, unless until they release something else that's hopefully better. This will be my Nautica Voyage of choice for the most part. Most definitely, guys. So yeah, that's the comparison, guys. Performance, you know, a little weaker, a little stronger, as you expect from Intense. Smell, a little weaker, a little stronger, as you expect from an Intense. You know, but again, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They didn't completely go from Sauvage to Sauvage Elixir. You know, they didn't do that, or Lamal to Lamal Elixir. They didn't do that. They kept the DNA pretty much there. You can smell Nautica Voyage in this pretty damn good. Like, you know, this is, if you know Nautica Voyage and you sprayed this on, you'd be like, is that Nautica Voyage? Did they do something a little different? Because that's exactly what you're going to get from it. And for me, it's just different enough that I think owning both is fine. But if you do only want to get one and you like Nautica Voyage, I would actually give this one a try. You can't really go wrong for $20 if you don't like it, but I can't imagine you not liking it if you like Nautica Voyage, because it just kind of classes it up a bit, you know? So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's the comparison. Tell me what you think. Have you tried both of them? Do you like both of them? Are you one of the few people, I think, that likes Nautica Voyage but doesn't like this? I mean, it can happen. I can't really see a lot of people doing that. Or vice versa. Maybe you're one of the people that don't like Nautica Voyage. You tried this and thought, yeah, it's a lot better. I like that. I mean, there's going to be some people out there like that, both ways. So, yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Peace, love, be good to each other, and be good to yourselves.